Imagine a place where everything we know, everything we've built, imagined, and loved could vanish in the blink of an eye. Not in a fiery explosion, not with a sound, but swallowed silently, completely, forever. That place is a black hole, and somewhere out there in the vast, cold silence of the universe, there are black holes so enormous, so mind-bendingly huge that entire star systems could vanish inside them without leaving a trace. These aren't just cosmic curiosities. They are the final bosses of reality, and among them is one that dwarfs everything we've ever known. But to understand that, we need to start small, really small. Long before the first stars ever twinkled, before even the atoms that make up your body had formed, there may have been black holes, primordial ones. Born in the chaotic fury of the newborn universe, they could be the oldest things to ever exist. Imagine something with the mass of a mountain, yet smaller than a proton. Something so small you could hold it in your hand. If it didn't immediately erase that hand from existence, we haven't seen one. Maybe we never will. But if they're out there, they might still be roaming the cosmos, like ancient shadows too small to see, too powerful to imagine. We only begin to see them when they get big enough to scar the universe. The ones we know, the ones we've stared at with trembling curiosity, are born from violence, from stars dying in spectacular collapse, crushing themselves into oblivion. When a massive star exhausts its fuel, its core implodes, the light goes out, and gravity wins. What's left is something terrifying, a black hole. No surface, no escape, just an endless descent into nowhere. The smallest black hole we've found is just 16 kilometers wide. That's a morning commute, a drive across a city. Yet it weighs more than two suns. Imagine a place the size of Paris, so dense and dark that even light itself can't escape. That's the scale we're talking about. And it gets worse. In a star system called V723 Mon, a red giant 30 million kilometers wide, 24 times bigger than our sun, is being whipped around by a black hole just 17 kilometers across. Picture that, a mountain of a star being bullied by a pebble that's impossibly heavy, impossibly small, and impossibly hungry. Some of these black holes grow slowly, like cosmic predators biding their time. Others gorge themselves. Take M33X7, for instance, a black hole so greedy it's eating a star 70 times the size of our sun, piece by piece. And every bite it takes shines like a miniature sun, its accretion disk glowing 500,000 times brighter than our own star. But even then, it's only about 92 kilometers wide, still just a dot on a map, still just a doorway into nothing. And then, things get weird. There's a gap, a great echoing silence between the giants we know and the monsters we barely understand, between black holes of a few hundred suns and those millions of times larger, a silence so strange it breaks the rules of time itself. Because if black holes grow slowly, by eating stars, by merging with others, then how did the largest ones get so big so fast? The universe just isn't old enough to explain it, not by ordinary means. So maybe, just maybe, something else helped. Something even more ancient, even more extreme. The quasi-stars. We've never seen one. They may never have existed. But if they did, they would have been the gods of the early universe. Imagine a star so massive, so dense, that its core collapsed into a black hole while it was still being born. Not dying, but forming. And instead of destroying the star, this tiny black hole at its heart began to feast. The entire star became its buffet, its cocoon, its incubator, a slow, deadly dance between gravity and radiation, where the black hole grew larger and the star held together just long enough to keep feeding it. These monsters, these quasi-stars, might have birthed the seeds of every supermassive black hole in the universe. And the black holes they left behind? They were thousands of times the mass of the sun, big enough to swallow the earth without a ripple. But this is just the beginning, because the true giants are still waiting. From the shadows of the early universe to the glowing hearts of galaxies, We arrive at the throne rooms of the cosmos, places where gravity reigns with unimaginable force, supermassive black holes. They sit at the center of nearly every galaxy, including our own. Hidden among the stars like kings behind curtains, they rarely announce themselves. But they are there, watching, waiting. In the heart of the Milky Way, there's one called Sagittarius A star. It's a quiet giant, calm, almost shy. But don't let that fool you. It's 4 million times more massive than our sun. And yet, smaller than many stars. That contradiction is the soul of every black hole. Impossible density wrapped in a silent cloak. We know it's there not because we can see it, but because of what it does. Stars swirl around it like frightened birds caught in a storm they can't escape. They don't know why they're running. They just know there's something there that shouldn't be. A place where space folds in on itself. A place where time slows down or stops entirely. But Sagittarius A star is just a whisper. Further out, in the chaotic ballet of galaxies, colliding and merging, are black holes that have grown bloated from their feasts. In the BL Lacerti galaxy, a supermassive black hole is devouring so much material that it burns with the fury of 1,000 suns. It shoots jets of plasma into space, faster than any missile we've ever launched. If Earth were orbiting that thing, it would fill the sky like a god of fire, and we would last seconds. Now stars begin to feel small, pointless, like sparks in a furnace. The supermassive black hole in the galaxy Cygnus A has devoured so much matter that it stretches 14.7 billion kilometers wide. If it were dropped into our solar system, it wouldn't just swallow Earth, it would stretch nearly to the edge of everything we know. And it's still not done. It tears apart gas clouds and stars, spins them into a frenzy, and vomits them back out as pillars of radiation that stretch for 500,000 light years. Entire galaxies bow to its presence. And yet, even here, the story doesn't end. Because there's a type of black hole so enormous, so extreme, that we had to invent a new word just to describe them. Ultramassive. In the galaxy OJ287 lives one of these monsters. It has 18 billion times the mass of our sun. So big that even other supermassive black holes fall into orbit around it like moons. Think about that. A black hole so massive that it has another black hole dancing around it like a pet. It is beyond comparison, beyond understanding. If you dropped our entire solar system inside it, you'd lose it. It would vanish. It wouldn't even leave a dent. But even this titan is not the king. The throne belongs to something so colossal, so ancient, that we only see it as it was 10 billion years ago. A ghost from a younger universe. Its name is TON 618. 66 billion solar masses. A black hole so massive, so impossibly large that light would take a full week to cross from its edge to its center. 11 entire solar systems could rest inside it, side by side, and never touch its walls. TON 618 doesn't just swallow stars. It swallows galaxies. It shines with the light of 100 trillion suns. Not because it emits light, but because the matter falling into it screams as it dies. And we can see that scream from across the universe. But here's the thing. We're not even sure that's the biggest. We only see what the universe allows us to see. These are guesses painted with math and shadow. Most black holes don't announce themselves. They don't glow. They don't spin with fury. They wait. And one day, when all the stars burn out and all the galaxies drift apart, only the black holes will remain, silent, eternal, still growing. Because for them, time has no meaning. Death is irrelevant. They are the final form of matter, the end of all stories. So when you look up at the night sky and see the stars twinkling in the dark, remember what's hiding between them. The largest things in the universe are also the most invisible, and they are still growing.